As you all saw in the last episode, the season has come to an end as we were knocked out in the National League Division Series against the Chicago Cubs. We took the series to 5 games after losing the first 2 of the series, and then then we won 2, even up the series, and then lost Game 5 because Matt Kemp decided to turn into a Little League right fielder, and he lost us the game. So we lose that, and now it's the offseason as the Cleveland Indians have defeated the Chicago Cubs in the 2018 World Series. They finally get their revenge. I believe did they win it last year in my league too? It was either them or the Giants in 2017 in this franchise. I forget who it was. But that doesn't really matter, as the World Series MVP for the Indians was Jose Ramirez. The AL postseason MVP was Lonnie Chisenhall, and the NL postseason MVP was Javier Baez. As far as retirements go on our team, we had just a guy we signed, Rookie Davis. He was a 25-year-old guy. Used to be a Yankee prospect, was a Reds prospect. They released him, and I picked him up to be like a AAA guy, and he ended up retiring because I signed him mid-season. Because this game still hasn't figured out that issue, because I don't realize that 25-year-old, 67 overall starters are just going to retire mid-season, because that's totally realistic. Or not mid-season, but they're going to retire because they're, I don't know, not going to get a job. Like, alright. But Jason Hamill is the other guy who retired, as he was still an 82 overall. He was at least 35 years old. I mean, that's also kind of unrealistic. I wouldn't say he would retire there. He's still got at least one good year left in him. 82 overall. He's going to start digressing, though, as he's a 35 overall, because he's hit that age where the game just goes automatically. Well, you suck now. But I think that he could have stayed around for one more year. He wouldn't have been resigned to us, but he would have been on another team. And then Adrian Beltre made the Hall of Fame, 3,000 hits, 462 home runs, 1,623 ribbies, and a .283 career average. He is in the Hall of Fame. And now moving on to the thing that everybody wants to know about, Matt Kemp. What are we doing with him? And the first thing we did before we did anything, before we re-signed anybody, before we did any coaches re-signing, before we did anything, we went out and we just dumped Matt Kemp, because with his contract, he's making $25 million a year. He only has this upcoming year left on that contract, but I just did not want that on my team at all. There is no room for him here. I cannot have him on my team, and I do not want that contract anymore. So, Matt Kemp, we just unloaded him for pennies. It wasn't like the Braves gave up like some huge prospect for him anyways. The Braves got him for pretty much scraps, because the Padres wanted him off the team. So that's how the Braves got him. We got rid of him the same way the Padres did, essentially. Dumped him off to an American League team, though, as the Texas Rangers gave up Alan Webster, a AAA starting pitcher. He's like late 20s starting pitcher. He's just going to sit in AAA for us. He's not going to play a role in the series. He's just the guy we got in return for dumping Matt Kemp on the Texas Rangers. He'll probably be like their DH or something. If they play him in right field, they're idiots. Now moving on to the re-signing period, where the first thing we did was re-sign Jung Ho Gong to a 2-year, $8 million over 2-year contract, so he's our third baseman for the next 2 seasons. Wilfredo Tovar was re-signed in a 1-year deal for $600,000. Jacob May for a 2-year deal with a $1.3 million over 2 years. He's going to be like a 4th, 5th outfielder for us, as he proved himself last season. He was a pretty solid player, especially in the postseason. Marwin Gonzalez had a great season last year. He's getting up there in age, though, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to want him on my team, so I only gave him a 1-year contract for $5.8 million. He's going to be our second baseman, which is going to mean that Ozzie Albies doesn't really have a place to play. He's probably going to be a bench player for us, but once Margot leaves, Ozzie Albies will take over at second. Ozzie Albies will get his chances, though, as he will be on their team. He'll get pinch hit opportunities. He'll play when people need rest. That's just how it's going to go, as Marwin Gonzalez, I thought, had such a good season last year that I couldn't just let him go. And then we also re-signed Jaime Garcia for 1 year, $5 million. We traded him in Season 1 of the Astros and got Teoscar Hernandez and Marwin Gonzalez in return for him. Marwin Gonzalez has been a beast. Teoscar Hernandez sucks, can't even hit in AAA. Hopefully he can turn things around this year. But then we signed Jaime Garcia in the offseason, pulled the Yankees on him, traded him, got assets, and then got him right back. And now we got him back for another season, another 1-year deal for the lefty from Mexico. As far as who we let walk and did not re-sign, that is Danny Valencia, the left fielder for us. We did not bring him back. I brought him on the team because he had a great season with the Mariners in 2017, sucked with us in 2018, did not bring him back. Tanner Shepard had a good year with us. I did not want to bring him back, though, so he got let walk. Chris Medlin had a disappointing season. He's getting up there in years. I let him walk as well. Jace Peterson had a good season, but I mean, there's no really room for him on our team, as we've got a bunch of middle infielders. Those positions that he plays are stacked. He was only there because Albies was down developing in AAA. He's going to be down. He's going to be up in the major leagues this year, and there's really no room for Jace Peterson, so he's just off. Gonna go do his own thing with somebody else, hopefully. So moving on to the free agency period, there you see the list of top free agents throughout the league. Manny Machado, obviously, DJ LeMahieu, Dallas Keuchel, and then if we take a look at starters, which is the thing that I was looking at heavily, was starters. I did not want to dish out a ton of money, though. There was Dallas Keuchel, there was Gio Gonzalez, Carlos Carrasco. A lot of these guys wanted a decent, hefty contracts. At least that's what they said when I was looking at them. So I decided to go with a little bit of a cheaper option, but a guy who's still a solid pitcher. Left-hander Patrick Corbin, who is a 78 overall, 29 years old. Like I said, he's a lefty, so we had another lefty to our rotation. Garcia is no longer the lone lefty. He had a 3.22 ERA in 2018, had a disappointing 2017, but 2018 was good on him, and he's definitely gotten better every year from like 2016, 2017 to 2018. He's gotten better as the years have gone on, so hopefully 2019 is going to be a good season for him with us, as we gave him a 2-year, $16 million contract, so that's $16 million over 2 years. He'll be a starter with us for this year and then also next. And then one of our big issues last year was we had no speed in our corner outfield position, so pretty much anything into the gap that Enciarte couldn't get to, or anything down the line, was a guaranteed double, sometimes even triple, depending on who was the base runner. But that's no longer going to be the case this season, as Josh Harrison has been signed to us for 1 year, $6.8 million. He is a 77 overall. He's 31 years old, a utility guy. He plays third base for the Pirates in real life, but he is going to be our right fielder because he can play everywhere, so he's going to be our right fielder. Josh Harrison, great contact bat. He's got good speed. He's very good in the field. He's going to be a good guy for us to have on the team, a good veteran presence. 31 years old. I mean, he's not going to be digressing, but he's not like a spring chicken either. He did have a disappointing 2018 season, though, with only a 253 average, 320 OBP, but I'm hopeful he'll be able to turn that thing around and be a quality bat for us in our lineup. Probably the biggest free agent that we did sign, though, was our new closer in David Robertson. He is not going to be a Chicago White Sox anymore, as his contract was up. And David Robertson, now getting up there in years, but he's still a quality pitcher, is going to be our new closer. We gave him a 1-year deal for only $5.5 million, which is pretty much a steal for a guy like David Robertson. So he is going to be our closer, as Nick Vincent is no longer the closer. Nick the Goatee is now going to be a setup guy with Arodys Vizcaíno. And taking a look at who signed throughout the league in free agency, there is Zach Britton. He was available as a closer. He signed with the San Francisco Giants. Dallas Keuchel has been signed into the National League East, as he is now a starter for the Washington Nationals because they totally needed another starting pitcher. Kelvin Herrera is now the closer for the Detroit Tigers. Good pickup for those guys. They need some bullpen. Brian Dozier is now going to be on the Los Angeles Angels. DJ LeMahieu also going to the Detroit Tigers, as they did lose Ian Kinsler this offseason. His contract was up. Devin Mesoraco went to the LA Dodgers because the LA Dodgers totally need more talent. That team dominated the regular season, still couldn't get it done in the postseason, though. Lost to the Cubs in the championship series for the National League. But they do improve their catcher spot with Devin Mesoraco, and then they did not just stop there. They went out and they signed the best free agent in all of the free agents. Manny Machado is now a Los Angeles Dodger, so just like, they're going to be like a 130-win team. It's ridiculous. They won like 117 games last year without these guys. Now they got Manny Machado. This team is ridiculous. They have money on money on money to spend. And then there's also a period of the free agency where teams they have to either offer these guys arbitration or they're going to become free agents. And if they don't offer them arbitration, then any other team can sign them. And we pranced on a couple guys who, when that period came. As George Kontos, I felt like we needed to improve our bullpen. So George Kontos, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, from the San Francisco Giants. They did not give him arbitration despite him being one of their best relievers. And he just We picked him up, 78 overall. He's 33 years old, so he's getting up there in years, but he is still a very good bullpen pitcher. He's a right-hander, and he hasn't had an ERA above the 2s in ERA since 2013. He's had a 2-something ERA in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and last year in 2018, and they just let him walk for whatever reason. So George Kontos is now an Atlanta Brave. We signed up for $2.8 million for 1 year. And then we also took a look at some outfielder, guys who could play the outfield position to be a left fielder, because we don't really have a spot right there right now. As I said, Harrison's going to be right field, Inciarte's obviously center, left field is pretty much open. So, first guy we looked at was Yangervis Solarte, Oakland Athletics franchise legend. He's a 77 overall in this, 31 years old. Switch hitter, he's a utility guy, can play pretty much everywhere on the field, but he's sucked the past 2 seasons in MLB, or in this franchise. And that's usually not a good sign, because if a guy is not performing in the Sims, he's not going to perform for you usually. So 250 average, 303 OBP last season, and then 248, 329 in 2017. That's not looking good for me, so I did not really want to bring him on the team. Abraham Almonte, he's a 29-year-old, 71 overall B potential switch hitting outfielder. He only played 7 games last season in 2018, and then only 59 in 17. So he hasn't really had much time. He's 29. I didn't really want to give a contract to a guy who was that old, and well, he's not like old, but he's 29. He hasn't really ever been a starter in his career. I didn't really want to go out on a limb and give him a job. But a guy who I was comfortable giving a contract to from the Padres was Corey Spangenberg. I believe it's pronounced Spangenberg. I'm pretty sure it's not Spangenberg, it's Spangenberg. So 76 overall, 28 years old. He can play second base, third base, all the outfield positions. He's going to be playing left field for us, and the big selling point on him was he had a great season in 2018 in 524 at-bats. He had 163 hits while hitting .311 with a 367 OBP, and we signed into a 2-year contract worth $4.8 million over those 2 years. So he's going to be our left fielder this year and probably next season. So Cody Spangenberg, get used to him as he's adding some speed, some contact, and a lot of hits to our lineup. During this free agency period, we also went out and signed a couple guys who could be some AAA depth pieces. If we needed to call up in the majors, they could help out. First guy we did of that was Mark Appel, as the Philadelphia Phillies did not bring him back. And Mark Appel is now going to be a AAA. He's going to be in AAA for us. Former top first-round pick, not like top. I think he was was he the first overall? I don't think he was. He was like top 3 or something like that. We give him 1 year, $550,000 contract. He's going to be with Gwinnett. Rob Refsnyder, former New York Yankee. We signed him. He's going to be a utility guy. He can play multiple positions. 1 year, $680,000. Tony Kemp. We get rid of Matt Kemp. Got a younger, very shorter Tony Kemp. 1 year, $690,000. Once again, he's a utility guy. He can play all the outfield and then second and short, I think. Boog Powell, who is actually going to be our 5th outfielder, as Jacob May is going to be our 4th outfielder, and then Boog Powell is our 5th outfielder, as Zach Granite's going to be dropped down to AAA. And Boog Powell, 1 year, $620,000. He's got some good fielding, good speed, good contact hitter. He's going to be a solid outfielder for us in the big leagues. And now taking a look at our finished product of what our rosters are going to look like, what our lineup, pitching staff, rotation is going to look like. Our lineup versus pretty much righties and lefties is going to be leading things off. Center field, Ender Inciarte, followed by shortstop Dansby Swanson. And then in the 3-hole is first baseman Freddie Freeman, the reigning MVP. Third baseman Jung-Ho Kang in the cleanup spot. Second baseman Marwin Gonzalez. Right fielder Josh Harrison. Left field Corey Spangenberg. And then the catcher is John Ryan Murphy. And of course rounded out by the pitcher spot. While in the rotation, 1 to 5 will be Julio Teheran, Jeremy Hellickson, Jaime Garcia, Mike Foltynewicz, whatever it's pronounced as. And then the fifth guy is Patrick Corbin, our second lefty. And then in the bullpen, our long reliever is Matt Wisler, who had a solid season in the bullpen last year. Three middle relievers are Kyle Crockett, our lone lefty, John Stilson, and George Contos, our new signee. Setup men are now Nick the Goatee Vincent and Arodys Vizcaíno, and of course our closer is the newly signed David Robertson. Now this team will be starting its season off against the Philadelphia Phillies at home, so that is the video we will see you for next, as I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Reminiscing on the days where we used to have a blaze, everybody came around and we laxed out on the lays. And I remember when we'd drink and we'd smoke and we'd spar and we'd laugh, and the night would just go on and on. For the rest of my life that memory will stay, man, fuck that.